I'm Kerry Watson, and I have Impossible City, Paris in the 21st Century by Simon Kuper, a Financial Times journalist. He's also written for a wide variety of other publications and newspapers. And his book is practically an up-to-the-minute study of Paris, which is very topical given that we've just finished the Olympics in Paris. Now, he's originally British, moved to Paris in 2002, and is now a French citizen. Paris is a city I know fairly well. I've been there 4 or 5 times in the last 15 years, so obviously I like it quite a bit. The book takes a kind of a scattershot approach to its study of Paris, looking at everything from homelessness to how various immigrant groups adapt to Paris or are rejected by it. Also looks at the peculiarity of Paris's etiquette or social code that identifies you as Parisian or not Parisian. Kuper details how Paris is, in fact, 2 cities. There's the 20 arrondissements, which are inside the périphérique, the ring highway, which encircles Paris. And that is really tourist Paris. That's the Paris 98% of the world knows. And there's only a little over 2 million people living there. However, immediately outside the périphérique are the suburbs, and that's has a population of 10 million people, and to a large degree very much different from those who live within Paris proper. It's a lot of immigrants, a lot of people living in poor social housing. These are where the riots, which flare up occasionally in France, often take place. He introduces us to this world and explains why there is this rift physically and socially between the 2 Parises. Now, as far as the tourist Paris component of the book goes, he comes up with a wonderful phrase to describe what makes Paris so special. And he calls it the density of excellence. Now, when he wrote that, he's really sort of describing the cafe scene, but it applies to most everything about Paris. When you're in Paris, the density of excellence is expressed in the fact that you can walk 300 meters in any direction from where you're staying, and there will be something beautiful, remarkable, historical, and certainly something wonderful to eat, something fantastic to eat. And in that way, it's unlike any other city I've visited, and it's hard to think of any other cities quite like that. The other thing that comes out of his book, which is striking, is the fact that France and its politicians have for a very long time, going back to Napoleon III, been keen to make Paris in their own image, to mold it, shape it, to improve it, and especially the latter. Much money and effort has been poured into Paris in making it as wonderful as it is. Certainly it has its share of problems. One of the notable things would be the mass transit, which is probably the best in the world. I can certainly vouch for that. But what's interesting about that is it can be something that this pride in a capital city or in a city is something that's so lacking in North American culture. In North America, our ideal is the suburban individual home. And so much of our political will seems to go, especially here in Canada and Ontario, into placating and pleasing those who live outside cities. Cities in North America generally are something most people don't seem to like. They're regarded as dirty and something to escape from. In Europe, I feel that cities are someplace you go to, you're proud of, and you invest in. And certainly if you look at many European cities, investment, the main sign, or one of the main ways things are improved is in quality of social, which they invest is in social housing, mass transit, public programs. For instance, Vienna is famous for its social housing of a high quality, and a great many other cities in Europe certainly have mass transit to a degree that no city in or very few cities in North America can equal. So, yes, it's a very interesting book. It sometimes feels like a random collection of magazine articles, but if Paris is always on your holiday list, it's well worth getting a hold of and reading. And this is my book, which I'd like to think is well worth getting a hold of and reading. The Skeleton Poems, a noir thriller, and it's beware of trigger warnings. It's got all the trigger warnings, and it's available, of course, at Amazon. Thanks. See you next time.